Today, in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 News, Karu News, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Gyan, and Organ Donation India Foundation. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic, and today, being the Thought Leadership series, we have we are going to discuss on a very important point because the world. Before I will go on the main topic, I would like to inform our viewers the world is observing International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. The International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking is a United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and the illegal drug trade. It is observed annually on 26th June since 1989. The date June 26th is to commemorate Lin Jashu's dismantling of the opium trade in human Guangdong, ending on June 25th, 1839, just before the first opium war in China. The World Drug Day is dedicated to share research findings, data, and facts that can save lives of people addicted to drugs. On International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, activists, therapists, organizations helping people to give up drugs and governments show solidarity in helping victims of drug abuse. By working together, we can tackle the world drug problem, said the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes, UNODC. Campaigns, rallies, poster designing, and many other programs are conducted. People of different countries celebrate the day together. As drug use increases, the day becomes more important. Media conference with Lal Goel hopes that by observing this day, we will be creating more awareness of drug abuse so that many lives can be saved. And today we have a very special guest because today we are going to have it's a thought leadership series. Crisis moments create opportunity. Problems and crises ignite our greatest creativity and thought leadership as it forces us to focus on things outside the norm. Thought leadership is fundamental in business today and consists primarily of finding and sharing great information in a way that attracts and retains. Thought leadership is when a leader's thoughts are being used by leaders to lead others. Thought leadership is influencing a narrative by understanding what needs to be done. Thought leadership is the expression of ideas that demonstrate you have expertise in a particular field, area, or topic. A thought leader can be recognized as an authority in a specific field and whose expertise is sought and often rewarded. That can be an expert, a historical figure, or a wise person with worldly impact. Many strive to become a thought leader in their respective fields. It takes dedication, patience, strategy, and education. In this series, we will be asking straight questions and we expect a straight answer from our thought leader. And before I will introduce my thought leader, I would like to inform my viewer, today's thought leader is the person who has dedicated her life for the eradication of drugs, abuse, the alcoholic, and all others which are becoming addiction to the society. And yesterday night, means that today morning, she was working on this up to 4:30 a.m. So she is totally dedicated for this cause. And she is none other than, because our topic is impact of drugs on society. And I would like to invite and introduce our thought leaders today. And she is Dr. Rukhsana Hassan. Welcome, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan on our show. Dr. Rukhsana Hassan is a renowned psychologist, trainer, coach, motivational speaker, special educator for early childhood education and development, a specialized counselor for the drug abusers and alcoholic with an experience of more than 28 years in rehabilitation center. She holds a PhD in social work and humanity from USA. She is postgraduate in Master of Arts from Mysore University, postgraduate in diabetic health educator from St. John's, Bangalore, and postgraduate in human rights, New Delhi. Her second PhD from Mother Teresa University in counseling psychology. Presently, she is doing her third PhD in applied science from Rajasthan University. She completed her research in a project about CSW in Bangalore city under Women and Child Development, Government of Karnataka. She has done research about addictive personality, child's development psychology, CDP. It was done with the children of observation homes, boys, Government of Karnataka. For the outstanding service towards humanity, she was awarded Indra Priyadarshini Award. She is the nominee of Kittur Rani Chinnamma, Government of Karnataka, as the best social worker. She was awarded by Art Mantram Bangalore for Go Green Bangalore. She won Women's Achiever Award of N.A. Harris Foundation Bangalore. She has presented her papers at many international conferences at Turkey, Istanbul University and Egypt, trained teachers in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune, and all over Karnataka. She was the counselor in charge of Karnataka State Counseling Center as an advisor for the Karnataka State Minority Commission 2011-2012, and also has designed pilot projects for the Government of India and Government of Karnataka. She is the founder chairperson of the first rehabilitation center. She is the first minority woman in India to have started such a unique, challenging program. She designed mobile computer and tailoring training units with the help of Ministry of Labor, which benefits for the minority girls who are denied education for various reasons. Her title is Smiley Girl of the Town. She builds a new dawn in the darkest dusk just with positive smile. Welcome, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, on our show. Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, how to appreciate your work, and that too on today's day when we are celebrating or observing. I will not say the celebration word because it's a very dark side that the country, or rather I will say the entire world, is suffering with the impact of drugs. And because our topic is impact of drugs on society, and it's a thought leadership series, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, I appreciate your work, that you are working day and night. You came back home after 4:30 early morning, and still you are there on our show to see to it that you will try to explain and give the answer, straight answers to my straight questions on the today's topics, impact of drugs on society. My first question to you, Dr. Rukhsana, is what are drugs? We have heard about drugs. Everybody is mentioning about drugs. But what are drugs? People are not understanding. Somebody says this ganja or bhang or charas, they are drugs. Somebody says heroin or marijuana. So many things are there. But what are the drugs which are classified as drugs by the government through the Act, Narcotics Act? Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, please.
Thank you for the lengthy introduction. Am I audible?
Your voice is a bit less. Increase your.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay. A very good morning to all the viewers on Media Conference with Lal Goel. Thank you, sir, for taking up this burning issue with the society, with the individual family. More than the society, I would like to begin with the individual family. So this is a burning issue where I don't know where the fire brigades will come and when will they come, who is the one who's nominated to put off this. So this is $1 million question, which is a question mark for the last 3 decades what I have been working. Now, the very question what you have asked, what are drugs? Yes. Who has given this, the legal drugs and the illegal drugs? How is the illegal drugs, moved in the cities, moved to the individual people? What are these drugs? According to the society, what is the pharma drug and what is the non-pharma drug? What is the prescribed drugs and what is the non-prescribed drugs? So there are many questions. Only if I start explaining about these drugs, it will take about 1 hour. Let me put it very simple for people to understand that drugs which takes you to a different mood swing. Today, the people, the boys, the girls have found out so many drugs, maybe even the narcotic department are unaware about it. So this is the thing. Now, when I was working with this in the year 2004 to 2009, with the bureaucracy, whitener was a drug. The whitener which we use, that was a drug and which was easily available even in a small pawn shop. I don't know what was the government doing or what was the authority doing with the pawn shop fellow selling whitener. So I had to send somebody like that and say, what exactly was the thing. So actually that whitener was costing about 16 rupees. You pay 40 rupees, the pawn shop fellow is giving you the whitener. So was it that, the so-called local authorities, what we get the permission to do small trades, they're unaware that these things are happening? So what exactly is that drug? Nobody knows. When it goes to the top questions, finally what happens? That nobody knows who's the authority, who has to do that. And this doesn't come under drug. This is an whitener. So how will it be a drug? Now, prescribed drugs. When you go to a psychiatrist, they give a prescription. Is the doctor mentioning that this prescription is valid till this month to this month? No. We have seen the prescription which is 9 months old and the child comes, the child who is just about 15 years old, brings that prescription, takes the medicine legally and goes back. Who's responsible? Again, non-prescribed drugs. The drug addicts over a period of 4 to 5 years, they are better doctors than the doctors really qualified. If it is overdosed, what they have to do, the drug addict knows. So who is giving this drugs which are not prescribed? Again, the pharmacy. Who is taking care of the pharmacy? Who is in charge of the pharmacy? Who is the DHO, district health officer? Who is he who is not going and doing it? So when we go and ask, sir, how do you give? आप ऐसे कैसे दे सकते? नहीं मैम, वो आकर पूछता है, हम लोग दे देते हैं. एक स्ट्रिप के ऊपर 10 रुपए हम लोग दे देते हैं. So there are so many unanswered questions in the last, not 28 years, it is now 32 years that I have been into this. Never I have got an easy answer. I have spoken to the then Chief Secretary, Mr. Ranganathan, the Additional Chief Secretary, Jairaj sir. I've spoken to so many people. None of them had a proper answer. And when I told them and I presented them that these are the drugs, they were surprised. The nail polish remover, under what drug will it come? Petrol, under what drug will it come? The thinner, under what drug does it come? So there are so many drugs which have not been classified. What exactly is drug has not been classified. Even if you go to narcotics, only this many drugs we have. We have the authority to stop or to seize. The rest we don't have. So even the departments which are working are not very sure where exactly is their definition of drugs. Who is a drug addict? Who is the victim? Who is the codependent? So there are hundreds of questions which has been unanswered. Just by one day, we can't say that, that you can bring a major change. No.
So according to you, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, that there are many drugs which are not even classified as drugs. Like about 2-3 years or 4 years back or 5 years back, there was somebody says that a cough syrup, a particular cough syrup was used as a drug. So it means that drug addicts or those who are consuming or those who are selling the drugs, they are finding new and newer ways every day to see to it that the drugs will reach to the drug addict in any form, whether it's a nail polish remover or it's a whitener or boot polish or whatnot. So according to you, the drug is a very wide spectrum in the society, and it is very, very difficult to identify particular drugs. And I am very thankful to you that you have not taken any particular name, so that our program should not create awareness, unnecessary awareness to those who are. That is a very good thing. Now my question to you is, how and who is using these drugs? After all, the drugs are coming now. A child of 14 or 15 years old, or earlier to that, are they using, or the adults are using, or seniors, elderly people are using? Who are using these drugs?
A child who is.
No, your voice is again. Yeah. Sorry.
Am I audible? Yeah. A child who is.
No. Yeah. Now again speak.
Am I audible? Goel?
Yeah, now you are audible. Yes.
Yes. A child who is above 9 years, and 9 to 90 I can put, because the patients whom I am handling is 9 to 90. So whenever I see a child of 9 years, the first thing is we have to see the environment, the circumstance, and what is the background of the child. We just see the addict. We just see a drug addict. But we don't see, we just say who is he. We don't see what made him to do that. Okay, from who you have to come to what made him to do that. So in this long term, in this 3 decades of my service, whenever I ask a child who is about 9 years, I have also handled a case who is about 7 years. 7 years old child, okay, 7 years old child has a kind of thing to say, yes, ma'am, nobody is there at home, and the boy who was there was doing this, and he gave me, I was not knowing what it is, and then I started it. I said, but at least you know what is this? No, ma'am, I found, then I slept nicely, so next day when I got up, I felt very energetic. That is the reason I had to use. So this is the first answer what we get. When you see such an answer, now should I punish the child? Should I hit the child? Should I put him in the dark room, or should I, isolate him from the society? What is the role of a counselor? What is the role of a psychologist in this? It will be so disturbing that we are also not knowing, because the moment we do anything, child development comes. He is a child, you are not eligible to take care of him. Whose responsibility is? Child development, why don't you take it? Now, CWC is there, Child Welfare Committee is there. In that Child Welfare Committee, most of the time we are highlighting with the children who are girls. What about the boys? We are unable to handle the child. Now we have gone to the male child. Now we have gone to the female child. We are unable to handle this. The age group is going from 9, 14, 20, 21, 30. By the time he becomes the notorious criminal. And then you blame, he is a notorious criminal. She is so-and-so. We are very easy, we society and individuals are very, very at ease to make judgmental conclusions. This is what we have to state.
So according to Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, according to you, there is no age limit. A child, as you mentioned, about 7 years, and it goes up to 90 years, the people are consuming drugs. Now, my question to you is, why the drug addiction? Why this drug addiction takes place? People are eating food. They are not addicted with the food. It's a necessity which we are doing it. You are going to a movie, but you are not addicted to a movie going. So why this addiction is taking place of the drugs? Can you just explain to our viewers?
Simple thing I would like to say, the temporary mood swing and the permanent mood swing. When you eat food, you're feeling hungry. When your hunger is filled, you don't eat. Again, when you feel hungry, your hunger is the thing, you eat food and your hunger is gone. When you go for a movie, you just see the end, you see the beginning, you see the end, you come back. You see, we also have shopaholic. People without anything, with an impulsive thing, they go on shopping. So that is there. These all are called as dry addictions. Gambling, dry addiction. Okay, sexually addicted, dry addiction. Mobile addiction, dry addiction. But we are talking about a drug which is getting inside your body and it has been in your blood until and unless that thing is there in the blood, things happen. We have seen children of 12 years and 13 years, after consumption of drugs, the only thing what they do is they cut their whole body. They cut their whole hands, they cut here, they cut their chest part, breast part, everything. Why? Because the chemical in them is so much that there should be a puncture in your body and it has to come out. Because it's not able to retain it. It doesn't come out of your motion, urine, or on your spit. It comes out only when there is a break. Nobody is able to understand. When you see a child who is just 15 years old and see the cuts, it is not an easy job at all. Sometimes I tell myself, am I an rock? Is it that I don't have any heart? Because I see that I come back, I forget, I have to forget, and I eat my food. Normally, which is not possible.
Yes. Dr. Hassan, this addiction, people say that if you consume the drug once, you become addict. Is it correct that if we consume a drug for once a while and I will become addict, or it takes some time to become addict?
Very good question. Definitely on the first use or on the third use or on the 30th use, you are not a drug addict. You are not a drug addict. If you go to any college, let any college in India challenge me that there is no addiction in their college, I will lay my bet. Every child, now even it is a female child, out of every 10 children, 8 of them try this. 8 are not drug addicts. 8 are definitely not drug addicts. Some of the students who first use, their body, it doesn't accept, they vomit, they faint, they feel hanged out, so they don't do it. Out of every 8 who's been using, only 3 are addicted. That 3 is enough to ruin the society. It is a progressive disease over a period of time. Only then he becomes an addict. Addict, we call an addict who is unable to stay without that chemical in his or her body. Only then he is an addict. Simple example I would give, I would classify a very simple example I'll give you. Supposing every day a person is consuming 30 ml or 60 ml. Every day he consumes, he's normal, his family is normal, no fights, no arguments, no disgrace, nothing. But throughout his life, 40 years, he has been consuming the same pattern. He's not an addict. He's not an addict at all. He is a regular user, that's all. An addict is a person, the moment he opens his eyes, he needs the drug. Food is not important for him. Family is not important. Nothing is important but drug. He will go to any extent to get the drug. Beg, borrow or steal. He is an addict. Not that out of this 10, the 8 who consumes, all the 8 are not drug addicts. So this is the first thing what if. Is it preventable? Yes, definitely it is.
But Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, how we come to know that somebody is addict? Because we have seen in colleges or many places, people say that he seems to or she seems to be drug addict. But it is just our presumption. Whether is there anything, how you come to know that this person is a drug addict? If he or she is addict, then one can even think. But today, to generalize everyone that he or she is a drug addict, is there any classification, or can you give anything indicator that how one can distinguish between a drug addict and just a user? Consumption, as you said, that many people are using it, but they are not drug addicts. So what is the how we can find out about this?
Okay, this is a very complicated question, but 1 or 2 drugs I will tell you how you can, because every drug has a different effect. So I will use, because weeds, I think every student knows about it. I don't want to give any kind of information where they see this program and then they start new things. Okay, I will just give about 2 things. Once you consume weeds, your eyelashes, not every teacher or not every doctor knows about this. This eyelashes, they don't blink. They just stay like this. So this is the first thing. And the moment you consume alcohol, the speech is not the right thing. It's a blur speech. Either they pull. That's the thing. And the person who consumes some kind of pharma drug, they eat a lot of sweets. So this is how we have to, and this is not a job of any doctor or any teacher or any parent who knows about this. Absolutely no. My son, he loves sweets, so I'm preparing sweets. Okay, this is how we have to understand. First, we see the body language. And there are no parameters. There is nothing like that, where we can say, yes, when it is too much, when it comes for some legal thing, like especially in husband and wife's cases, the wife says that he's using some drugs. So that is the time when we have some blood checkups and see that what drugs he's been taking. This is the extreme cases. But as students or as individual families, nobody does that. So there is no such parameters where you can really find to see whether he or she is a drug addict or is there some drug in her body. Like now you see the police people, they have that alcometer. They just say breathe. When they do that, they see, okay, what is the consumption? So there is no such thing in a student or in a thing. This drink and drive, they do only on Saturdays and Sundays. After that, they feel they don't do it.
So, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, you are saying that the blood test can identify whether somebody has consumed a drug or not. Don't you think in the colleges, especially in the colleges, when we are talking of colleges of, say, 10th class onwards or 12th class onwards, we should have at least once a year blood test of all the students so that at least the college authorities or the parents know that the child is suffering from the drug addiction or not. What do you say about this?
Lal Goel sir, first let them accept that there is a problem. Test is a very secondary stage. Let us primary stage. Yes, my college has a problem. Accept this. Whenever I approach, oh ma'am, we have absolutely no problem in our college. Denial is bigger than the disease. Addiction is not an habit. Addiction is not an hobby. Addiction is also a disease. Then why shame? Why are you shaming yourself that, to say that, yes, this boy is an addict. Please give him the primary help. You reach him after he is in the super secondary stage, which is too late. No doctor on this earth can, say that abracadabra, this boy come out of drugs. It's not possible. We counselors have no miracle sticks. Acceptance is more important.
Have you ever tried to suggest the government authorities, because you are working very closely with the government, have you ever tried to suggest this thing that at least once a year at the time of admission or during the college time, this type of test is necessary, and let the report should be published that out of 983 students, how many students were drugs free and how much is the percentage, so that at least the parents and because we have to keep the confidentiality also, that at least the parents should be aware, because many times it was found that the parents are not aware that their child is consuming drug. So have you ever tried this to create give the suggestion to the government authorities to come out with this type of test in the blood test for the students?
I was unsuccessful even in telling the department and the educational institution to just make a small awareness. Forget about test. That is an individual thing. Mass awareness about certain drugs. The moment one day we spoke, there were a group of parents who pounced on the colleges. How dare you talk about drugs? My child doesn't know anything about. You're talking about tests. I'm talking about awareness. This is the mentality of Indian parents. So only
Okay.
one thing, 10 years before, 1 minute, 10 years
Yeah.
before I had told that unless and until there are quite number of cases in the society, then the parents will come up and ask, yes, please talk about this with my child. Nobody.
Okay. Now my question to you is, what one can do to help a friend who is addicted to drugs? Because somebody has become addicted for any reason, whatsoever the reason is. But can we help that person and see to it that he or she will come out from the drug addiction? Is it possible?
Definitely. Definitely. If I say that my friend is addicted, I also don't know what addiction is. So I will say, what happened to you? Yesterday we were okay. Today what happened? I'm not going to talk to, my friend is not going to talk to me. No. Because the moment that child starts using it, she or he avoids all the good friends. She or he will only see who are the user friends. So first we have to observe what exactly is it. Because somebody comes and tells, that did you do this? My first time, no, I didn't do. What made you to do this? Was there some problem? Can I help you out? You build up a rapport, you build up that story of love, and once that story of love becomes your love story, you can just slowly bring him. If it is necessary, you can approach the professionals for this, not a psychiatrist, because when I am using some drugs, when I go back to a psychiatrist also gives me drugs. I was using the drugs which were prescribed by me. Now I'll be using the drug prescribed by the doctor, which makes no difference. My body doesn't know whether it has been prescribed by the doctor or whether I have taken it on my own. So psychiatrists play a very minimum role in this addiction. But we as psychiatrists, we say that yes, he will be okay like this. That is just a substitute of drugs, which makes no help. The number of successful cases, what I have done is with natural therapy, with yoga, with exercise, with love towards his life, with the aim and ambitions towards his life. I can give you number of successful stories who are doing very well in society today without any drugs, nor the prescribed drugs, nor the other drugs.
So, do you think that it is the faulty parenting is also one of the factor responsible for it? Because what stories has come out many times that either the parents doesn't have time, or they are denying something that which child wants, or they are not giving the love affection which child wants. Some problem with the parenting, and that's why the child become drug addict. Before we will take that impact part, but I want to know first the reason. What is the cause? Why a child, like you have mentioned, 7 years old? After all, some reason might be there, because 7 years is not a age when you are moving with everyone and your friends here and there. You are mainly spending your time with your family. So, do you think the faulty parenting is responsible for the drug addiction?
No, parents are not responsible. Parents are unaware. Easily availability of the drugs on the in the market. Parents are also not aware that my child is addicted to this or that. By the time they learn, it is too late. That's the reason now what we have started from the last 15 years. Again, we started with Alva's College. We started giving mass awareness to the parents, not telling that this particular child or this particular child. We say the symptoms of a drug addict. What are the symptoms of the drug addict? Parents understood that, and parents started approaching us at the initial stages. So we were able to rehabilitate many people at a very big level in a very initial stage. Only when the parent know. No parent previously or today will want to say, that yes, I want my child to become this. No, definitely no. Why? The parents are working so hard only for the betterment of the child. So parenting is not there. The wrong information, the unaware parent are getting into this. Why a 7-year-old child? Because of loneliness, lack of love, lack of touch, lack of
So
time from the parent.
that is what the faulty parenting. Because if you are, the problem in the society today is that the parents are busy with their own either work, office works, or business whatsoever, and they have no time for the child. Earlier, there used to be a joint family. Now, my question to you is there is a this phenomena which, according to you, and which are the data says that it is increasing very drastically. Is it the reason that uh, uh, because of the diminishing of joint family? Because earlier it was used to be a joint family where uncle, aunt, chache, tau, bua, everyone is staying together. Grandparents were staying together, so someone is taking care of the child. While today it's a nuclear family where husband and wife are working together, and once they are working, they have no time to spend with their own children, and that's why the child is getting influenced by the peer group or those who wants to spoil the child by introducing this drug. Do you think this is also one of the reasons that the joint family has now becoming nuclear family, and that is why the this drug addiction is increasing?
Yes, there are many cases which comes to us. They are staying in a nuclear family. Joint family cases we get very less. And even if the joint family cases, not that there are no addicts or they have not tested and tried, they have tested and tried. But one person in the family suddenly notices the change in him or her, and they say, "Why? What happened?" And they start, yelling, correcting, cutting things for him in a joint family. But in a nuclear family, what happens? Today, to meet all the expenses of the parent, of the child, both the parent have to work. In spite of having only one child and two children, the parent work for 30 years. When the parent finds out that, my child is an addict, when she's completing a 30 years of working experience. So what is the point? That's the reason I tell the parents, that from 1 year till 5 years, please leave all your job, at least one parent, any one parent. You leave the job and you stay. Otherwise, see that your family members come and stay with you. And now when you can see in many houses where they are not able to, pay the maid and other things, they bring one of the parent. And there also, because we are selfish, things are getting more worse. Joint family versus nuclear family, yes, the responsibilities have come down, the expenditures have come down, but what is the damages, what is happening, maybe after 1 decade we'll come to know. Again, after 1 decade, the system of joint family will come back. That is for sure. Because now the youngsters, they want to try out. I got married, I want to stay in my own, in my own flat. And I don't want anybody. And anybody has to come, they have to give me a call and come. Previously, it was not like that. Sham mein dekhte hain, when there is a train, there are 20 people who are coming to our house. And it was just in a kind of, hall. We all used to sleep together. So we had, joint families, they had so much of experiences and other things that, people who sleep in hall is called as general ward. People who sleep in the rooms were called as the executive. So these were things where today's children are totally unaware about all these things. So as you said, that due to nuclear families, yes, due to nuclear families, we find more addicts. Some of the cases in family court, if you say, "Nay, when my son got married, he was okay, but now he has started consuming all these things," we don't know. That is very true. Because soon after the marriage, she wants the husband to be with her, and only the husband and wife and one child. So this also we have seen.
So we have seen in the movies, in many novels also, it is written earlier that people who used to be disturbed, either they have heartbroken or whatnot, they tends to smoke, they tends to go for alcohol. But we have seen the movies like Devdas, etc. But for the drugs, also the same type of some heartbroken or somewhere they are not getting their love, that is one of the reason, or it is been induced by somebody to try out. Even if you are a happy person, somebody says, okay, you just try this, and then person start consuming drugs. Like we have seen the celebrities, sons, daughters, or even the celebrities, so many cases have come that they are consuming. We are not saying that they are the drug peddlers. We have seen the case of Aryan Khan, and recently we have seen it in your Bangalore city, the son of Shakti Kapoor. But they might be consuming, but for them, they are in that type of high society where they have no such type of problems which a person with no means is suffering. That hunger, poverty, they have lots of ambition. So do you think that it is not some sorrow which is bringing them becoming the drug addict, but it is being to introduce to somebody with a pleasure or something? What do you say about that, Dr. Hassan?
Yes. Now, when we talk about the celebrities, and when we talk about the economic families, and when we talk about the slum families, there are three variations in usage also. And if it is Aryan Khan, or if it is any other celebrity, son or daughter, or celebrity himself or herself, they use this drugs on a different level. They are not drug addicts. They are just need-based users. Need-based users. When there is a need, they use it. When there is no need, they don't use it. Slum, I will see straight from the celebrities, I'll come to the slum dwellers. For slum dwellers, it is a survival. For slum dwellers, in Bangalore, there are many slums. One of the slums I would like to mention is Dijahalli limits, where I have done lots of research in this particular place. Randomly, you give me 100 houses, and I'll tell, Lal Goel sir will go to 10 houses. Random, not 1, 2, 3, kuch nahi. 23, 43, 53, 93, any house. I will say there is a drug. Father, mother, elder brother, elder sister, uncle, auntie. Then one mama will be a peddler. So this is the kind of circle what is there in the slum people, in the slum dwelling. Now, when it comes to the economic level where you, me, and others stay, the 65 to 80% of the Indian population is. These are the people who hunt the people who are in need of drugs. The drug peddler understands who is a potential addict. He knows that, how to find out. The drug peddlers approaches 10 people, 8 people takes it, only 3 will be in his line. So this is a huge kind of, stage by stage. I straight away can't take a celebrity and compare a slum. No, there are different stages out there. Different levels are.
Yeah, Dr. Hassan, you said that in slums, it is very much common. Now, my question to you is it because they are economically weak, and that's why the tensions and the frustration is so much that they feel pleasure in consuming drugs, and they try, even if they are empty or stomach, they take the drug and they just sleep. Is it one of the reason factor to become a drug addict?
Actually, don't know what is drugs. They only know hunger. They know only poverty. They know only survival. But when they consume this, they are in their own world. It is just the survival. Even they want to be like us. They want to live like us. But who is approaching for a good help? It is not the kind of thing that they want to be. They are made to do that. I have seen so many places where the people give them drugs and then they tell them to clean all the dirty things. Who is responsible? I am responsible for that. each one says, I am responsible for this, at least 20% we can eradicate. Forget about eradication. Let me at least prevent it. Where is the prevention? What are we talking about? Why is it that society is not able to read? Today, when I have 10 admissions, tomorrow I have 20. Is it that I lack in my services? When I am able to put right to the 10 people, again 20 are born. What does the human rights says about it? The human rights says that the children and the people who are suffering on the road, when I bring them to my rehab and put them in some treatment, give them good condition of living, the human rights tells me, labels me that I have kidnapped those people. And they said, please leave them out. And I let them out. Out of 100, 18 died. Who's responsible? Not the human rights. Did anybody ask? Nobody asked. Were there any cases on 18 deaths? Nothing. We are talking something which doesn't exist. We are talking about drugs, but that is survival for many people.
Now I am coming to the main thing about the impact on society. My question to you is, we have seen in Western countries, many countries are legalizing few of the drugs. I will not say the entire drugs, many drugs, but few of the basic drugs like marijuana has been legalized in many parts of the US, even of the many states in US has legalized marijuana or some herbal things. In India, we have bhang is legalized. Even charas is ganja is consumed by all many of the godmen's people. So it's basically legalized. So my question to you is, when we know that people are getting some pleasure in this, why we are not legalizing in India to avoid this black marketing and or bringing the drug money, which is huge money in India? Do you favor to legalize few of the things by this about the drugs, a few of the drugs to be legalized, or you think that government should not at all legalize anything and it should be very strict about the drugs? What you say, Dr. Rukhsana sir?
What should I say on this? I just have to smile in the form of crying. I have to cry, but I'm smiling. We have already done this. We have already legalized alcohol. Haven't you seen what is the impact? In one state, you say it is legal. In another state, you say it is illegal. In the state which was illegal, how was it transported to illegally? When you say it is legal, what is the impact? Please see the mistakes of the government which they have already made. It is very true that in an educational campus, wherever there is an education campus, in 1 kilometer, there should be no bars. Please come down and see. Just in 50 feet, there is a big showroom of alcohol. When we have done these kind of things and we get so much of money out of it, why the government has to legalize? So that the drug peddlers, now also they are giving. It is not that, the police is not paid, the press is not paid, the public is not paid, the politicians are not paid, the prosecutors are not paid. All the 5 Ps are paid. All the 5 Ps are still paid. By legalizing that, you can say that, okay, if you have to have a license for this, if you have to have this, you pay me this much. It's nothing. It makes no difference whether you make it legal or whether you make it. Let us not compare what is happening in the Western countries or in US or in UK or in Europe, and please bring it to India, because there it is entirely day and here it is entirely night. So let us not compare with the thing. Let us correct ourselves with the mistakes within the city. What have we done within India? We have legalized alcohol. What is the impact? Who is selling it? And is there any time for a bar and restaurant or for an alcoholic showroom that only from 6 o'clock till 11 o'clock you have to open? No, they are open 24/7. When you issue a license, is there no timing mentioned? You see an alcoholic who is addicted, He's there 5 o'clock at the bar. Election times, no, bars have to be closed. Alcohol shops have to be closed. How many are closing it?
Dr. Ruxana Hassan, when you are talking about alcohol, we have seen so many deaths, unfortunate deaths in those states where there is a dry state, where there's a ban, like Bihar, like Gujarat. Not Gujarat. Gujarat deaths are not being reported, but Bihar, so many deaths have been reported. Now, my question to you is, when a few other states have tried, like Haryana tried earlier, and ultimately they have to give a go about this. And that what we have seen about the drugs is, as you have initially mentioned, that the people are consuming whitener, they are consuming they are consuming the DDT. We know that the fillets and whatnot. Question is, if the legalization will be done, at least the people know that these are the persons who are consuming it, and they will be consuming in a particular limit, because they know that tomorrow they are going to get it on a very reasonable rate. Like I will tell you, bhang is legalized in UP, and you can purchase in Mathura, Varanasi, Lucknow, everywhere. This is legalized. But in other places, they say the bhang is not legalized. Like ganja is legalized, like in Haridwar, people are taking the chilam, etc. My question to you is, like even for alcohol, when alcohol is legalized and people are consuming, but they are not dying with a illegal alcohol which they are consuming. Similarly, if these drugs will be legalized, particular drugs which will give some kick to the particular age onwards, like alcohol, there is an age limit of 21 or 18, wherever it is. Don't you think it will have better impact on the society, not the impact which is going out today? Today, as you say, is that all the colleges are having these types of menace. Don't you think it will reduce that menace to an extent or not?
Definitely no. If somebody has given a report, it is definitely a very weak survey what they have done. Because I'll give one small example of a home. I'm smoking and nobody knows. And the moment my mom knows that I'm smoking, I will come home and smoke. You understand? So by the time, okay, when you say about legalization, who's the monitoring agency? Whatever guidelines you have given, who's the monitoring agency? Legalized 24/7. At least now it is hidden. It has not been, the rates are same. Once a user knows what it is, he knows that 50 grams of marijuana is this much only. He's going to pay only that much. But when I am not able to produce that money, I will start seeing the potential addicts. So in this, what happens? I will be, hey, come on, man. Hey, this is an illegal thing. You can do it. No police will catch you. No school can stop you. But today, what has happened? Today, when they catch in the college, when somebody is being seen with this kind of drugs, they have been thrown out. That time you can't do that. If I'm using, you also can use. You're using, he also can use. First, bring awareness about what exactly is drugs. What are the drugs, what you can legalize? What is the mood swings, what they have? What is the kind of impact what an individual has? Let me not talk about the society. Society comes later, an individual dies.
Okay. Now my question to you is, what is the impact on an individual? We will go to the society afterwards. Yes. What is the drug impact on the individual?
Drug addiction is a disease which has the tag of family disease. There is one addict at home, the entire family is paralyzed. Whether it is the father, whether it is the mother, whether it is the son or daughter, any one of them, the entire family is paralyzed. The entire family is being as in shame from the society. Drug addict is dependent on the drug. The family is codependent on him. Drug addict is dependent on one drug. The entire family is dependent on him. One addict in the family is a kind of disturbance for all the other children and family members. They stop going to the parties, social gatherings, neighborhood meetings, or in other societies. Only because there is one drug. Because the moment that parent goes, आपका बेटा ऐसा था, अभी वो कैसा है, परसों वो नीचे गिर गया था, अभी वो ठीक है, उसको डॉक्टर के पास बता. The mother doesn't want to think. That's the reason I said, before anything, acceptance is more important than the denial. Denial is bigger than the disease. Addiction is not an habit again, it is a disease. This is the only disease which affects the family. It is known as the family disease.
Now, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, you are insisting about saying that drug addiction is a disease. If it is so, why the narcotics department or the police is catching them, putting them behind the bar? Do you agree that putting behind the bar a drug addict is not a solution? It's not a thing. Rather, they should be put in the hospital or rehabilitation center. What do you say about that, Doctor?
100%. Because of, you see in Singapore, you see the Singapore law, once they find a drug addict, the only thing is rehabilitation center. Either you go to a rehabilitation or you go to jail. Either you be away from the society, be in the society, and yourself rehabilitate. We have also seen this. We have also seen many cases in India that he's a drug peddler or a drug user. A drug peddler is definitely a user. Many of them have caught, many of them were behind the bars, and many have come out. It is just a kind of the entire process by the family, police, public, prosecutor, law, back home. When the addict goes under all the system, he says, क्या कर लिया पुलिस लोग? 4 दिन मैंने अंदर गया और मैं बाहर आ गया. He'll become double. Some of the cases were referred to us. You see those changes. See, Mr. Lalgul, what we have to do about this, this is an unknown kind of issue by the topmost bureaucrats. Many of them may not even know what is the real meaning, definition of rehabilitation. Many of them may not know, see, there is a serenity prayer which says, accept the things which you cannot change and change the things you can. So we have to accept first. The first thing is accept. Today, the government, the society, the individual, the families, the Indians, all are on that denial stage. नहीं, मेरा बेटा ठीक है, वो उसके साथ मिल रहा था ना, तो इसलिए वो ऐसे हो गया. अगर उसके साथ नहीं मिलेगा तो ठीक हो जाएगा.
Now my question to you is about the impact on the family. You mentioned about the impact of individual. Although you have mentioned earlier that impact of families, that they have started becoming unsocial. They would not like to go. But what impact of a drug addict, individual addict, impact on the family?
Okay, if it is a family of 4 children, let me take a proper number. Husband, wife and 4 children. The eldest son or the eldest daughter is a drug addict. The rest 3 have denied everything. If it is first is boy and the rest is 3 girls, the girls are not able to get proper proposals. And when they say, "Aapka bhai aisa tha, kaise hai?" So that child has not been, taken into consideration. नहीं, उसका भाई drug addict है, तुम वो लड़की के साथ नहीं मिलना चाहिए. This is the kind which happens, family to family, relation to relation, one to one. You are being kept aside as a shame. Nobody wants to talk to you. What happens? Mental health. Then the other 3 children getting into depression. The other 3 children are denied. Yeah, there are few families who have, with the help of the professionals, even if in spite of the child, the first child being drug addict, the other children have been given proper education only with the intervention of professionals. Because family is always, how can we tell this, how we can approach.
Is it also impacting their financial status, this drug addiction?
That is why I say beg, borrow or steal. First they start begging. Then they start borrowing. Then they start stealing. Family financial situation is very bad. I have kept my purse and I have just visited that house, 500 rupees is missing. How will I tell? I visited that person's house. How will I tell that 500 is missing? So I don't tell. So that addict gets, okay, I can do this.
Okay. So now we have come to that impact on individual, impact on the society. But before I will go to the society, I would like to know, is a drug addiction can shorten the life of an individual, or he or she can enjoy the entire life except that they are taking the drugs, or it will shorten the lifespan of an individual?
Definitely shortens. Overdoses cases, see, these cases, why we are not aware, because it has not been reported. I think out of every 3 drug addicts, 1 dies because of overdose. 1 dies because of overdose. What happened? Heart attack. Oh, uski tabiyat theek nahi thi. He died. Nobody is reporting. No survey has been done on all this. None of the departments have done.
Now I am coming to the main topic of ours. It's a huge, I know that it's not an easy thing to cover in today's program. The topic is, the main question to you is the impact of drugs on society. So what impact is there or is going to be there on the society if a drug addicts are there in that particular society? We can start from a building a housing society, then we can go for a mohalla or this thing, and then we can see of a particular city, whether it is impacting that particular city, starting from their housing society or to the entire society or even the colleges. There is an impact of drugs on that?
The impact is very dark and very hard. It starts from an individual, it gets spreads with the family members, then it gets spreads with the other extended families, then it gets spreads with your neighbors. The neighbors are then spreading it towards the society, and the society to the community to the local area, to the local grama, village, panchayat, district, or the state. So it takes stage by stage to have this. You can see that, once there is, I will talk about a very small village in Dakshin Kannada. Like those days, even smoking a BD was a very bad thing. Oh my God, he smokes BDs. That was the kind. The same village, in this 3 decades, one boy started consuming ganja. That boy gave to another boy. That boy gave to another boy. In that small, I think about less than 1,000 people in that village. If somebody is willing to visit that village, I will definitely show. Because in all my research programs, I take from a small society to a bigger society. Approaching with a research in a bigger society, your results will be wrong. So in the small society of 500 to 1,000 people, now I think about 1,000 people. I think about 60 boys are there. When I first came, oh my God, where smoking was known as a shame. Where smoking was known as a shame, that kind of village, that too a man of 60-year-old, he's sitting on that tree stall and smoking one BD, not even a cigarette. That kind of village, isolated village, now has out of 1,000 population, overall population 1,000, 60 boys are there who are using ganja. From one individual, how it went to an entire society. Now the 60 boys every day are multiplying. And one boy was arrested, and then he has, many of them have criminal cases already on them. So this is how it impacts on the society if an individual is not monitored, not controlled, monitored. Monitoration is more important than becoming prejudgmental.
Now my question to you is society in any way is responsible for this impact? Because you are saying that individual can impact on the society, the family, but Is society is also responsible because to make an individual as a drug addict?
Definitely yes. Because the same society, if they would have observed that particular boy or girl, they could have made miracle changes. I belong to one society where I see a drug addict, but still I look at him as a human being. I give him that love, I give him that care, and I say, you are important, beta. I'm also a society. As an individual, I build a society. If I am able to do that, why not others? It is so easily we say, he or she is a drug addict, don't go to their house. Who is making them under that? If one son is drug addict or an alcoholic or whatever addiction, why are you denying the other kind of, the rights what they have? Just because the eldest one is there, just because the father is a drug addict, just because the mother is a drug addict, why are you denying the rights for them? Society plays a major role, whether in building up or in destructing it.
So
Society
do you
definitely does.
do you think that awareness program, because still today we are in 2022, still the drugs are a taboo subject. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to do organize it. Only on the certain days like today day or the some few days there are some seminars, etc. But people are not creating that awareness which is required in a proper way, like we have seen in COVID time, how the government has come out with so many advertisements, ring tune on our telephone, etc. Don't you think a more aggressive awareness program is required so that the individuals or the society or the family will try to counsel, and more counselors will give them the proper training how to counsel, how to rehabilitate individual? What do you say about this, Dr. Hassan?
Yes, yes. This is the only answer, that each and every individual has to take up and say, drugs is not a problem. Drugs is not a shame. Drugs is something we live in. We have to know what we have to do, where we have to use it, what is the usage, who has to use. When you make all this who, how, what, when, these questions are answered in mass. These questions are answered in mass. I think 30% of the problem and the awareness about, yes, parenting, yes. What are siblings? Yes. What is family? Yes. What is society, community? Everything comes under this thing. When somebody comes and tells individually, to me, it will be a difficult thing. Let us start it with mass. Let us not make it a kind of thing only for 26th of June. Let us make every day as 26th June, at least 1 hour. Consistently you do it and see the changes by next year.
Dr. Hassan, you are always saying that it's a drug addiction is a disease. It's not a something punishable. Dr. Hassan, I think you are not seen.
Yes.
So now my question to you is any insurance coverage is there for this disease to be cured? Because after all, rehabilitation centers might be free, but they might be charging also, many of them. Is there any, because once we are told, as you are saying, it's a disease. So whether this disease, for which the cure treatment has to be taken, whether insurance companies are covering this particular disease or not?
No, not at all. And I have suggested many insurance agents, why don't you start this? According to me, Lal Goel sir, I think today's society, 50% of the families are suffering with this problem. Unless and until you accept it, it is a problem. When there is cancer, why aren't you ashamed? Why do you go to open hospitals? Why do you feel hesitated to go to a rehabilitation center, to a de-addiction center?
But there is no insurance. After all, de-addiction center, rehabilitation center also charge money. And once a person is going to be admitted there, all the expenses Have you ever suggested this to the higher authorities that the insurance coverage should be there so that the family should not suffer the financial burden, at least, and the child who will be de-addicted, proper treatment can be given, which is not possible if the money is not there. After all, to go every day to a de-addiction center or rehabilitation center is not easy unless the person is admitted to the hospital, proper cure or the rehabilitation is required. For that, you require money. So if the insurance coverage will be there, then that at least the family can come openly and say that my child is suffering from a drug addiction. That's why I'm getting it admitted. Here it is, it's a hush hush. It's totally under the carpet. Neither the individual wants to talk now, the family wants to talk about this particular disease. What do you say about this, Dr. Hassan?
I agree, 100% I agree with you. But which is the insurance agency who wants to come with this plan? I think somebody like Anil Ambani or Neetu Ambani takes up these things.
No, we are not talking taking the name.
No. A person like me or you, when we suggest.
No, we are not doing it. After all, the insurance companies, their business is to insure. And definitely, this is something which I will definitely go ask this question to some insurance companies when I will be doing a media conference with them. Why they are not taking this particular disease? Like earlier, I will tell you, obesity was not under the insurance coverage. Now it has become, because earlier people were not talking about obesity. They were thinking that obesity is a lifestyle. Yes, it is a lifestyle, but it's a disease. And disease, to cure the disease, and then now, because the doctors have tried their best, and now they have, it's a insurance coverage is there. So organizations like you, the NGOs, if they will come forward and they will write to the insurance companies, definitely the insurance company can cover this particular disease, drug addiction, under the disease, so insurance company can make the payment. I'm sure that this thing can be initiated by your organization or other organizations like you. Okay, now my question to you is, what is the role of the police? We are seeing that the police is highlighting big news, front news, breaking news about Aryan Khan or Shakti Kapoor's son or so and so and so and so. But you are saying that this disease is everywhere. So I am asking you, the police role is clearly defined about the drugs addiction or not, or it is their whims and wishes that they are catching the persons and treating them like a criminal?
Policeman treat patient? Definitely no. If the policeman has the authority to hold somebody, the very next thing what the policeman has to know is, the department should know is, that they have to hand over that particular case to the health department, not to the judiciary or to the law. This is what is happening. Police, lawyer, judiciary, court or jail. This process has to go edict, police, health department. Simple. Change the route. You'll get many results. Police is not the person to treat or even to talk. The moment the policeman talks to me 3 times, I will become a drug addict, because their tone, their language is so nice. So police has absolutely no authority to handle even one case. If any policeman does, then the policeman should be behind the bars. So this is what the procedure has to change. But who's going to bell the cat? The cat is there, the bell is there, but who's going to bell it? So that is a $1 million question.
No, but there is a narcotics department, exclusive department, which has been established under the Narcotics Act by the government of India. It's a central law. So already it's working everywhere in almost all the big cities, even in small cities, not smaller, but big cities, they are running full-fledged department. Don't you think they understand the sensitivity of the drug abuse or drug addiction? And then they are creating. I know 1 or 2 officers who worked in this particular field, and they created lots of awareness in going to the youth, with the youth, because ultimately the disease starts with the youth mainly. So don't you think that police or the narcotics department role is more to create awareness first, and along with the NGOs like yours or others, and then see to it, because as you rightly said, prevention is better than cure. So if the prevention stage we are not going, then how we are going to cure? Because cure is again a very, very tedious thing. What you suggest and what you think the narcotics department or in turn the police should do so that the drug addictions people can get the fair justice, I will say, by because they will get the treatment. What you say about this, Doctor?
You first have to create a police people friendly environment. Police people friendly environment. As in police, if you go know, the job of a narcotic department is just to see who's doing what, and if they do, how to seize it and then punish them. Narcotic department, they don't have anything. Just by creating one day, you take a huge youth, you go to a big college, create a big hangama and come back and then say tata bye bye and come back after the next thing. No, it has to be consistent, should be there. Every day you have to talk about it. Every day I have to listen to it. Every day I have to understand. Every day I have to accept. Oh yeah, she's such a big person, but she's talking about it. Let them copy me. Only then this will happen. Policemen can never do this because everybody has that fear of police. This is not the job of fear, the job of a policeman because the fear. It is a job of love. So that is the love story which you have to create. And I don't think so that, out of 100 cases, even 2 cases, policemen can change. Yeah, 1 or 2 on a Facebook one thing we can see, ek police wala ne khana la kar de diya. Maybe out of 1,000, 2-3 policemen or policewomen may be that. But that is not the formula or the methodology what we have to do. There is a method what we have to follow even for the awareness. Unless and until the entire society, as I said, the 5 Ps, the public, the prosecutors, the police, the press, and the politicians. They are on the little finger, but they are the bosses. Unless and until there is a political will to say that many politicians have lost their children in addiction, still they haven't come out. Imagine to what extent is the denial. I don't have to tell who is what. Forget about the film industries. Let us not talk about the film industries. Politicians don't come in that celebrity thing. Many politicians, many great politicians have lost their children. Why haven't they come with anything like that?
So my question to you is, how the drugs are reaching to India? After all, we have so much security. All our borders are covered under the day and night vigilance of BSF and the army, and everywhere it's totally covered. How the drugs are reaching in India, and especially to the route from Pakistan or Afghanistan, it is reaching to Punjab and Jammu Kashmir. After all, do you think that some nexus is there between the drug peddlers or those who are supplying the drugs, drug mafia, I will use the word, and the big wigs, politicians, and that's why, and the top bureaucrats and the top police persons, that's why the drugs are reaching and creating havoc in India? Or it is just the drugs which are being generated inside the India and that is being supplied to the drug consumer?
See, let me not get into the legal battle of telling who is behind this, because each and every
we are not taking the names.
Each and every one of us knows, unless and until there is no loophole, you can't. When there is a loophole, definitely. Again, I will give you a very classic example. I have a beautiful mansion. If my main door key is with the watchman, there is no safety on my house. I'm talking about my house, which is a huge mansion. Who is responsible for that? I am responsible. When our beloved Prime Minister was able to close the entire country in 24 months.
24 hours, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, 24 months. Sorry, 24 hours. Yeah, 24 hours. Is it that the intelligence department in the CM office, in the governor's office, there is an intelligence department, right? Don't tell me that you don't know from where the drugs are coming. Why are you acting, as if you're sleeping when you're awake? This is the kind of, if you're really sleeping, I can say, Mr. Lal, will get up, get up, get up. You'll get up. But agar pretend kar rahe ho, it is impossible. So this is a kind of hide and seek game, which is from the top level. Let us not talk about fencing the entire country. Let me fence my own boundary where I live by telling that I should be aware of what drug addiction is and see that my family members are not accessible to that in spite of the availability in the market and in the desk or on the bench. Only thing what I would like to conclude here is, let me learn, let me be aware in the open society that what is the havoc, what drugs are making to my family, to my children, to my individual, which makes a big society in the community. They know that I know that the drugs are available. I can't stop that. I can't stop that. So let me see that my children, my students don't get access to that. Even if they're access, let them know what exactly the damages are. Make them aware. Just give us the permission for that. Please accept my proposals. See that I don't damage more society. I'm going to work another 6 years. After that, I'll get retired. So who's going to take the next level? My children, they don't even want to talk about this. Mom, we have seen you sleepless nights. We have seen you without food. We have seen you. I haven't taken bath even for 3 to 4 days. I have been continuously working. How many of you will find? I don't want any big awards. I don't want any awards for the work, but I'm ashamed of myself to say that, I do this job. You can't see on any of the websites or things, that I have so many patients. I don't do that. I feel pained. So this is an absolute job of an individual to say that, yes, I have. It is not the police. It is not anybody. Let me start it. Please, through this medium of communication, I would request each and every one, accept an addict the way he is. Don't ask him to change. Make the change and see that he changes. This is the only thing what I would like to conclude.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan. We understand your pain because you are working day and night for last 32 years and you have tried to rehabilitate many patients, which you have done. But your pain is and agony is very, very clear that the departments, the government, the society, even the family, all are in denial mode. And unless we will not accept this is a disease, we cannot eradicate the drug addiction, the drug menace from the society. And the impact we are seeing every day and night, how it is impacting the individual health, how it is impacting the family health, the financial health, or the social health of the family, how it is impacting the society. I'm thankful to you that today you have taken my straight questions, quite sometimes uncomfortable questions, but you have given straight answers. And I'm sure that today's viewers got a fair idea about the drug menace, the impact of drugs on society. And the request to all of you is, as Dr. Rukhsana Hassan very clearly said, don't deny it. If somebody is drug addict, accept it. Treat him or her. It's a disease. Don't try to overshadow it and try to hide it. Say it positively. Yes, so and so is drug addict. We are getting it rehabilitation done. And the request to the politicians, to the bureaucrats and the police, please accept this as a disease and try to stop bringing the drugs in our country, which is creating havoc, and especially with the young children. After all, the children are mine, yours, and everybody's. We all love our children. We should never allow these drugs to impact our society, which is doing rounds everywhere. So thank you very much. And thank you, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Karu News, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Gyan, as well as shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to create awareness. We can create awareness. We can bring such type of burning issues. The only thing is that if any one of you, even if one of you changes, after listening, watching our program, we think that the change starts and someone has to take a lead. So thank you very much, Dr. Ruxana Hassan, that today you have tried to start the ball rolling, and I'm sure that this will not stop anywhere, and you will not regret that you are in this line. You are doing a very, very big service. Yes, I know that you deserve far more awards, but although you say no, but awards should come, then only the others will also be encouraged to join in your league. So thank you very much, and thank you all of the viewers for watching our show. Thank you very much.